Hello everyone, this is Sandy Kaminsky. I'm going to present to you my Assignment 2 Summary of Learning, or some of the key learning that I've had in my journey through this learning. I decided to put everything on a Prezi, and I will be showing you here shortly this entire Prezi presentation, which is the medium for my Assignment 2. So, this was one of the templates on Prezi that I chose. I loved it because it shows a journey. You can see I have sort of some main ideas here and the journey that got me all the way to the end. And my final question will be, how have I become a more networked professional? So we'll start with the first screen here, and that was my reflection of what social mediums I already used. So not only do I have my Android phone, which is not simply for looks, it is also, I also didn't really need anything more than this HTC phone. Over time though, I am finding that this phone is becoming overwhelmed with all the apps and things that I needed, especially for this class. The next thing I own is an iPod. This was given to me by SciAS because they want us to have a app on there that's called Nursing Central. And when I'm in the clinical setting with my students, I have access at my fingertips to Davis's Drug Guide, looking at medications, labs, diagnostics, diseases and disorders, Tabor's Medical Dictionary. I love it. I love it at my fingertips. Tried to put it on my Android, and my Android takes a little while to bring it down. Anyways, the next thing I have on my forte is the first portable computer of the world. Well, not as much anymore. This little computer is becoming a thing of the past, and it is heavy in my bag. The other thing we own in our family is the old faithful family computer, which needs to be replaced every 2 years, according to my husband. But there's still a lineup for it, so we're glad about that. Here's our newest little toy. It's our BlackBerry Playbook. It doesn't have as many capabilities as I thought, and the kids thought, so it's kind of sitting in the background now. Strong and Steady is our usual television that is mounted above the fireplace, and it will always be turned on and it'll always be stared at. And so I move on to week 1. That was our course introduction that Alec had presented. Why did we take this course, and why am I taking this course, and what did I want to learn? I really, in the beginning, only took this course for 2 reasons. I needed a technology class as part of my forte. And I was looking for an online class because I have such a heavy teaching load this term. I thought that an online class would be more portable, and definitely it is. I'm currently sitting in Ottawa with my dad, and I'm able to, he said, well, where are your books for your master's class? I said, I don't have any books. I also wanted to increase my knowledge of social media concepts, network with other people involved heavily and not so heavily in social media, and as a result open up my teaching of SciAS students with these new concepts that I've learned. So the next step that we were supposed to do in our class was to create and learn through Google Plus community, which is my favorite part of this whole class. I love seeing what all of you guys are doing in your learning and seeing how it fits with mine. Blog Hub, I have to admit I haven't been there much. Twitter hashtags. Twitter is like the thorn in my side. I find it really hard to read Twitter because there are no sentences to read. It's a lot of mishmash and hashtags and this and that, but it's been interesting. Have to admit I have not gone on to Saskatchewan Teachers on Twitter. And the other thing is we needed to have some kind of a blog medium to go to, and I decided to go to WordPress. And this is my WordPress address here. And my theme for Sandy Kaminsky is called It's All Good, because in this stage in our lives, I think it's all good. So there's, and then I went on to do some reflection on what presentations that I use as, I guess it was called like for open education, right? So what presentations do I already use for my students? Well, I use lots of PowerPoints, so I'll present something like this to a student, physiology of the central nervous system, a quick review, and then I'll go through all the different parts, or I'll talk to them about the basics, cell of the central nervous system, which is, yes, it is kind of boring, and my students probably do want to fall asleep. The next thing is pharmacology textbooks. Yahoo! Those are just exciting for the students too. And then I often go through some jokes. When effective listening fails, as you can see, if you don't pick up the patient on 1, 2, 3, he'll be on the floor. PDFs. These are boring. I love them. These are all the different kinds of documentation mistakes that we make. But, you know, for students, they just think it's so dry. I show pictures. Stage 2 peptic ulcer disease. That's a pretty picture to look at. What social media and apps do I already use? You know, I use Facebook. There's my Facebook profile page. I use Overdrive, which is to get library books out for my children. We use YouTube. This is actually an actual YouTube video that my daughter's made that you can go back and take a look at my Prezi and watch that video if you like. I only have Instagram so that these two troublemakers, my little daughters who are 12 and 9, this is their big thing right now, so I created an account just to keep an eye on them. I have my SciEst email and my Gmail account, which, you know, now that I'm looking at this is a lot of social media that I use. September 17th, we talked about preparing for an open boundary course. At that point, I had to start my Twitter account. As you can see, we had to declare ourselves, and I started putting on photos and videos I was using for my students, and so I used this YouTube video over here to talk about diabetes. My students really enjoyed that. It's a good summary for them. Let's see here. Then, in the meantime, I was doing this Prezi course, which was absolute torture. And so I realized I needed help, and our wonderful Jillian that's on here helped me with this Prezi course. Digital citizenship on October 29th. I really enjoyed this class. How do we act when we are online, and what should be taught to the next generation? Really enjoyed this class. We talked about things like cyberbullying. We talked about shock sites. Alec told us about some different ones. This is that kid that was part of the Stanley Cup rioting in Vancouver. Student activism and how it has changed on college sites. This girl talks about things like how her role is actually to do some spiritual counseling. This was a video about, I think it was something like giving money loans for poverty-stricken people to help them start their businesses in developing countries, underdeveloping countries. Never Seconds at Blogspot, and I loved this quote that Alex said. He said, the internet is going to be the fabric of our kids' lives. I absolutely agree with this statement, and I hope that the values and beliefs that I instill in my children's lives now give them a foundation when they're forming their future decisions while they're using their social media. The next step was November 5th, we just had questions and answers, so it was like Alec talked about posting with our weekly blogs. Assignment 2 is my summary of learning, which is what you're looking at right now. And my final major digital project is, this was on my WordPress. And my biggest part of it was transforming my pharmacology class. So you can go back and, if you like, go to my WordPress and take a look at some of my things that I did for my project. How have I become a more network professional? It would be wise to, oh my gosh, the phone is ringing. I'm sorry, I need to mute it. There we go. Okay. I didn't realize my dad's phone was in here. Now, where was I? Yes. It would be wise to produce a final blogspot. So mine is actually, if you go to, oh, whoops, this is going back to Adam Levine. Storytelling, yes, he was telling us about how we could teach through all those different types of storytelling. Well, I have to say storytelling is one way that I do keep my students focused in lectures. I love the way Ruben Pentadura said one of the best ways to understand something is to tell a story about it. So as you can see, here's a regular bottle of Tylenol, and I'll talk to my students about what Tylenol is. It's a non-opioid analgesic, blocks prostaglandin production, blah, blah, blah. The nurse monitors for signs and symptoms of acetaminophen toxicity, and the students are starting to doze off. But then I started talking to them about a patient I had in the ER once that told me that the only way she could take Tylenol was through suppositories. So then she says to me, well, I have a headache, and she requested me to give her Tylenol. Well, what do you think I did? Do you think I went and got that suppository from the fridge, or asked her to swallow a pill? So at that point, of course, the students are laughing away. We talked about open education on November the 19th. Today, knowledge is like free air. It's free. It's like free air. No, that's not what I meant to say. It's free. It's like air. It's like water. It's become a commodity. There's no competitive advantage today in knowing more than the person next to you. I so agree with that. 6 degrees of separation. Oh, I just love that concept. And what does open education mean to me? I used to think it was going onto the internet and learning something that was open to everyone. Vague, I know, but this was the depth of my understanding prior to taking this class. Now I don't think I could even explain in words what open education means to me. With this class, I've come to appreciate the learning, the connections with others, the expansion of this concept, the rules, the lack of rules, the sharing, the teaching, the moralistic concepts, pushing the limits, and deciding how much to share, comfort zones, and of course creating a balance in it all. And David Wiley, I have to admit, I missed this one because I was online until, and I had just gone offline, I guess, when he showed up. And so this, no, students will receive a final survey, so I'll work on that. But I just wanted to say that I've always wanted to know more and to use Prezi. Not many people use it, and for some reason I was drawn to it. I think I've created a pretty amazing Prezi to show the journey that this class has taken me on. To me, visualization of a goal and the journey towards that goal is the fabric of my life, and I have it here to share with you. Thank you everyone for listening. It was awesome connecting with all of you. Bye-bye.